There are currently over 75 million sites that use WordPress, according to the WordCamp site. Over 500 new sites a day are created using the free version on WordPress.org, which is one of the main reasons why Data-Driven Design built the Voice Designer. Without further ado, I'm going to queue up the session on the Voice Designer. Hey everybody, I'm Paul Hickey. I am the founder and CEO of a digital agency called Data-Driven Design and the founder of a WordPress plugin called the Voice Designer. The Voice Designer very simply allows any WordPress site to author and publish its own voice app to Alexa and Google Assistant in the form of an Alexa skill and a Google action. You can turn your WordPress website into a presence on top of Alexa and Google Assistant for your business. And you can manage that presence from the back end of your WordPress website where you manage all your other content marketing efforts. An Alexa skill is basically an app on top of Alexa, the same way that there are apps in the Apple App Store and the Google Play App Store. So when you go into the Alexa app on your device, you see all of the skills inside the Alexa app. You can add skills to your Alexa device to make it smarter by opening your Alexa app and enabling the skill, or you can do so by just simply saying, Alexa, launch, and then the name of a particular skill. Google Action is the same thing as an Alexa skill, except it's for Google Assistant. And instead of going into the Alexa app to get the Alexa skill, you go into the Google Assistant directory and add it to your Google Assistant enabled device. This could be Google Home, this could be the Google Home Hub, or this could simply just be a phone with the Google Assistant app on it. A WordPress plugin is an officially made piece of code zipped up in a file that any non-technical WordPress content manager or marketer can easily add to their site. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But WordPress plugins can extend the functionality of your site. Examples being, you can add e-commerce to your site from WordPress plugins. You can add membership functionality to your site from WordPress plugins. You can add event calendar functionality, the ability to book appointments. You can add simple forms, user contact forms to your site. You can add all sorts of stuff to your WordPress website through plugins. And now with the Voice Designer, if you go to thevoicedesigner.com, you can download the WordPress plugin that allows you to build voice apps from the back end of your WordPress admin and publish them to Alexa as a skill and Google Assistant as an action, and manage it right from the back end of your WordPress admin dashboard. That's the same place, marketers and business owners, that you manage all of your other content marketing efforts. All right, so now that we've covered the overview of what it is that we're talking about, let me talk a little bit about why you want to do this. So Alexa has over 200 million active users as of January 2020. That's double the amount of active users from the year prior. It's growing like crazy. Google Assistant has reported that it has over 300 million active users when you include all of the devices, and that number is really beefed up by the fact that Android phones come pre-installed with Google Assistant on them. So just like a website is a simple way for potential customers and constituents to learn about your business on the internet, a voice app like an Alexa skill and a Google action is a simple way for potential customers and constituents to learn about your business as they're talking to their voice assistant. And so for very, very low cost, you can actually add this and then again, manage it from the back end of your website so it's all in one place for you. It's all about saving time, gaining speed, and reducing friction for both yourself and your prospective customers. So now that we've covered that the Voice Designer gives you a really, really low cost way to build a presence for your business on top of Alexa and Google Assistant, two places that are massively gaining audience attention quickly, let's actually jump in to how to make this happen. Okay, so we're going to jump into actually how to make this happen, and you can see it, hear it, and get excited about how easy it is and how cost effective it is to implement for your business. So you are going to have a WordPress site all ready for your business, and you are going to go to thevoicedesigner.com and you are going to click the download it free button. And when you click the download it free button, it's going to take you to thevoicedesigner.com/free. Click download it free again, and it's actually going to download the zip file down here called plugin.zip. And then you'll go over to your WordPress website. Now, for the sake of today's discussion, I'm going to use this website, marcuswhitney.com. Marcus has so graciously allowed me to demo the Voice Designer on his site. He has some great content on his site, so I think it's a great example. And I'm going to log into the WordPress dashboard as step one. And I can do one of two things. I can either upload the plugin zip file that I downloaded from thevoicedesigner.com, or I can go into plugins in the back end of my WordPress dashboard. And I can click add new. And I can search plugins for the Voice Designer. And the first one that pops up is the one that I want, and that's called the Voice Designer, and it'll say, by data-driven design, turn your WordPress website into an Alexa skill or Google action, and click install now. And after it's installed, you can click activate. And as the Voice Designer is successfully activated, you'll notice over here on the left-hand side of your menu that you now have Voice Designer with our nice little voice icon over on the side, and you'll click it. And it'll allow you to get started building your voice app from the back end of your WordPress website. Okay, let's take a basic tour around the Voice Designer now that we have it installed and we're looking at the main canvas area. So first of all, there's just kind of a nice welcome message here. Let's get started building your voice presence. So the first thing we're going to need is your app name. This is going to be the name of the voice app itself and how the users will actually find it, how it will be indexed in the appropriate app store, referring to either the Alexa Skills Store or the Google Assistant directory. And so for the app name, we're going to call it Marcus Whitney. And we'll call it Creative Entrepreneur. And then for the invocation name, we want it to say Alexa open Marcus Whitney, Alexa launch Marcus Whitney. So you don't have to put the Alexa open here, just put the name that you want to have happen after somebody says Alexa. You will need to upload a 512 by 512 pixel logo for your voice app. Those are relatively easy to build in a tool like Canva, for example. So I'm going to show you one that I built right here, the Marcus Whitney voice designer logo that I'm going to go ahead and add. And you'll drag it into the WordPress media gallery like I just did and choose it for your app logo, and it'll load in here perfectly. You're allowed to use the voice designer for free to build your voice app, which we'll get into next. And then once you save the changes, you can actually test it on your Alexa or your Google Assistant device using a special app that we built for you to test it on. But before you actually publish your real app, you will need to buy a license key from thevoicedesigner.com. I'll show you how to do that in a second. You do not need to put your license key in until you're actually ready to publish the app live to Alexa and Google Assistant. Now, the act of actually building the voice app and testing it is super, super easy. All you need to do is scroll down to your canvas, double click the intro, double click to edit button, and just type anything. And I'm just going to click, hello, this is Paul building a test voice app. After you save your intro, you're going to want to add an ask a question block. So click ask a question and it'll load it into your canvas. You can drag it up. You can put it anywhere you want, actually. I'm going to drag it up here because we're going to have multiple question blocks. So then double click your question block and just add a title for your reference. I'm going to call it main menu. Now, type in the next thing you want your voice app to say after the intro. So this would be something like, we want you, or I, it doesn't matter. This would be something like, I want you to have a great experience learning about my business. Would you like to learn about me, my team, my upcoming events, or how to book a consultation with me? And so it's important to ask a question within the speech, because then what you're going to want to do is add answers. Now, answers are under actions. So this is actually what the user is going to say to answer the question. So if you say, learn about me up here in your speech, it would make sense to put learn about me down here. Now, if the user says learn about me, it's going to be able to take them to the block that you put in after this, which I'll show you in a second. But in addition, you can add synonyms. So you could say, learn about Paul, about me, about this business. And then for each of these, put them on a new line like this. So you provide a list of synonyms for each action, each on a new line. Now, adding another option, you're going to click add another. And the reason you want to add another is because you have my team down here. So you can say, learn about my team. And then in your synonyms, you can say, learn about Paul's team, about the team. Anything that a user might say, you would want to put under synonyms. About, or you could just say my team, because that's actually what I said up in the top here. Then you have my upcoming events. So you want to add another. For synonyms, you could say things like upcoming events. And then the last one is book a consultation with me. So you can say book a consultation, consultation as a synonym, for example. Now, it's going to make you do a reprompt. So this is what Alexa or Google Assistant would say if the person doesn't answer. So for a reprompt, you could say things like, you can say things like, learn about me, learn about my team, my upcoming events, or book a consultation. And then you can save that block. And now you essentially have a main menu of items. And all you need to do is connect the two here. So now you've got an intro. Hello, this is Paul building a test voice app. I want you to have a great experience learning about my business. Would you like to learn about me, my team, my upcoming events, or how to book a consultation with me? You have all your actions, and you've saved it. Okay, so we have our intro and our main menu built, and now you can see that there's other nodes here that we need to connect things to. And this is where we need to respond with a response from the voice assistant. So this is where we're going to tell Alexa and Google Assistant what to say. So under Learn About Me, what we can do is simply add a basic response by clicking the Add a Basic Response block. And this is simply what you're going to type in when you want people to hear something after they say, learn about me. So we'll title it Learn About Me. And we'll just give it some test speech. This is some test speech for what the user would hear when they say, learn about me. And then we're going to save it. And then we're going to connect the Learn About Me answer to the Learn About Me prompt. Learn About Me prompt here, Learn About Me answer here. We're going to connect the Learn About Me prompt to the Learn About Me answer, and if we want to delete it, we can click on it. Okay, so then we need to do the same thing for Learn About My Team. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to click Add a Basic Response again and say Learn About My Team. And then I'm going to, just for the sake of this tutorial, say something like, this is what the user would hear if they say, learn about my team. We're going to save it, connect the two here. We're going to add a basic response for the other two, my upcoming events, and book a consultation. We're going to essentially just do the same thing. We're going to name it. We're going to name it just for your reference as the content manager. What the user would hear if they say my upcoming events. And then this is book a consultation. Put a call to action here. Okay, then we save it, and then what we need to do is let's click Save All Changes, and it says your app is saved and ready to test. Just say, ask Voice Designer to run Marcus Whitney. Now, this is where you can actually test it on your Alexa-enabled or Google Assistant device. Now, it's going to give you this message after you click Save, but in order to effectively test it on your actual device, you're going to need to connect all of these nodes back to a particular node. And once they're connected back, I'm going to connect them back to the main menu and save all my changes again. And now what I'm going to do to test my voice app on Alexa is I'm going to say, Alexa, open Voice Designer.
What invocation do you want to test?
Marcus Whitney.
Hello, this is Paul building a test voice app. I want you to have a great experience learning about my business. Would you like to learn about me, my team, my upcoming events, or how to book a consultation with me?
Learn about me.
This is some test speech for what the user would hear when they say learn about me. I want you to have a great experience learning about my business. Would you like to learn about me, my team, my upcoming events, or how to book a consultation with me?
Book a consultation?
This is what the user would hear if they say book a consultation. Put a call to action here. I want you to have a great experience learning about my business.
Alexa,
would you like
exit. So all you have to do to test your voice app live on Alexa or Google Assistant is say, Alexa, launch Voice Designer, and then it'll say, what invocation would you like to test? And then you say, what you have up here is your invocation name.
The invocation is what you typed in your Voice Designer plugin. What invocation do you want to test?
And then you say that invocation and get to testing. Okay, but sometimes you're going to want to get a little bit more creative with your Alexa skill Google action using the Voice Designer, and you're not going to just want to have basic content from your website. So it's totally acceptable to replace that filler content with just basic, what I would call about us content from your website, which could be content from your services page or content from your about us page or your our team page. Totally acceptable, gives your business a good presence. However, with the Voice Designer, you can get even a little bit more creative and strategic than that by taking content from the website and sort of repurposing it into the skill. So using marcuswhitney.com as an example, there's a lot of inspirational quotes, and then there's creative power pillars and entrepreneurship philosophy that are somewhat buried within the content of the website. So to get strategic with this, I decided as an example to show you what it might look like to do something like top inspirational quotes, the creative power pillars, or the entrepreneurship philosophy specifically. And so what you can do is you can use the ask a question as your main menu, and then repurpose your speech and your reprompt and your actions and make them a series. So if you say top inspirational quotes, you could then add a basic response that says, I'm about to start reading Marcus's top 10 inspirational quotes. And something along the lines of, I'll pause after each quote and ask you if you want to know more information about where it came from, is a strategic idea because then you're giving the user value up front in the inspirational quote, but then you're also asking them if they want more information as a call to action to maybe visit the website or learn more about your business. So I decided to build a series of top 5 most inspirational quotes, and then also the creative power pillars, which would be more like the about us section of the website, just very, very short, not too much for the user to have to hear from Alexa or Google Assistant. And then same thing with the entrepreneurship philosophy. And so all I did was I used a basic response and then a question in this series. So it's a series of questions so that the user can then tell Alexa or Google Assistant whether or not they want to continue or learn more about where this quote or content came from. And if they select where this quote or content came from, then it's going to take them, give them more information about that, and loop them back in to listen to the next quote. All right, so once you have tested and saved your changes to your voice app, you'll see this ready to publish message. We hope your testing worked well. You can keep editing your voice app as much as you want, and when you're ready to publish your app live to the world on Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, purchase a license key. So you're going to click Purchase Now. It's going to take you to thevoicedesigner.com/pricing. And if you are a business with one WordPress site, the best thing to do is to just purchase a single site license by clicking Get Started on the single site license. And you're going to add the Voice Designer single site license for $199 US to your cart. And then when you check out and purchase it, you will get a license key in your email that you will paste in the license key spot here. And then once your license key is pasted in, you can click Submit. So I've pasted in a license key. I'm going to click Save All Changes. And now that my license key is pasted in, I can click Publish App. And you get that Publish App green button, and then you'll see, thank you, your voice app has been submitted to our team. You will hear from us within the next 24 to 48 hours with an update on your submission to Alexa and Google. And that's it. You will hear back from likely myself or somebody else from the Data-Driven Design Voice Designer team, and we'll get your app published live to Alexa and Google. And then once it's published, you will be able to make any changes that you need right here in the back end of the Voice Designer. And when you save them, they will be live to the world.